I've tried recording this video 10 times, guys. So, hi. It's been a while. A few things. One, 9.1 is slated to come out at the end of this month. Total guess, but the June 28th or July 28th June 28th, it fits. It fits. Most of the testing's done. 9.1 PTR is almost, like, complete. I mean, it's essentially feature complete right now, and people are like, no, there's no cutscenes, there's no music. They put that in later, guys. They've got all the features in. I don't agree with some of the systems, but it's all in. All the raid testing's done. The dungeons have been tested. It's okay. Now, what are my plans for 9.1, right? Like, what should you be doing for 9.1? What will happen when 9.1 comes out? Well, at the moment 9.1 comes out, I'm going to do the campaign quests and unlock all of the layers of Torghast. Why? Because that's needed. Because you need soul cinders for your new legendary and recrafting a legendary. Now, the big thing. What will I be raiding as? I will be raiding as my monk. And as my shaman. I will be raiding as my monk in my main progression raid team. I will be raiding as a shaman in the Banana Republic. Now, why did I say it like that? Banana Republic at one point was progression focused. It was focused on getting AOTC all the time. It was focused on doing this and doing that. I remember at one point when I first joined, actually not when I first joined, like this was into progression, I was whispered by Hosty because I had failed a mechanic on multiple pulls. Did I die? No, but I failed the mechanic. She whispered me, if you don't fix it, you'll have to sit. I was okay with that. That is the kind of mindset that I have, and anyone who has heard me rage at people unable to do simple stuff in a raid, like not think that Shriekwing has a cleave for the tanks. I mean, he has a cleave, but it's called blind swipe, and that's nothing that tank positioning fixes. Getting, thinking that going to Artificer is an easier boss on Heroic than Sun King. Stuff like that. I am currently 3 out of 10 Mythic, and the main thing, I fucking love this. I really, really, really love this. Going into the next patch, I will be on equal footing with most of the other raiders, if not all of them, right? Because I've started to get the 226 gear. So I'm at 222 right now, right? So there's not really much separating me from the other Windwalker, except, he has better weapons, better trinkets. But that can be remedied. That can be remedied because when you start a new season, you essentially start from zero. I can do a Mythic 0 Tazavesh, which gives 226 loot, which, this is kind of one of the reasons why. Banana Republic probably wouldn't do it, right? I mean, we've got raid leads that didn't have a legendary until we were halfway through our current heroic progression. We have people who would bring their alts on progression because, oh, the alt needs gear, and I'm not going to gear it outside of raid. That happens. Like, that. We have people who literally throw a hissy fit when they're asked to press a button and do one thing different on one fight, and they get upset about it. Trying to reinvent the wheel and change up tactics. It's not fun. I'm a progression-minded player. I'm going to play in a progression-minded group. Now, why am I keeping a shaman in Banana Republic? Because the group's fun, right? Like, I was getting pretty upset at some points, and most of the people in the group would see that. Right? There's no getting over that. And you know why? Because I was upset in voice chat. because suggesting that going to Artificer is easier than doing Sun King, no. Saying, oh, well, we can't do Enerva because of DPS, when we wipe two very simple mechanics, no. If you are dying at the second phase of Enerva, that is a mechanic issue. That is not a DPS or healing issue. Case in point, my Mythic team does the whole Zerg strat. Guess what? Came pretty damn close to killing her. Got her 20%. And what's the Zerg strat? Well, you just don't really touch any of the canisters and just DPS the fuck out of her, so you're dealing with every mechanic at full blast all the time. You know, and like there's stuff like that. And again, like I was talking to some people about this, they're like, oh, so you just don't want to raid there? It's like, no, like the last couple times that I've raided with them, I've had a lot more fun. Why have I had a lot more fun? I stopped taking it so seriously. Right? Like, if people have been there, I think I've got some of the raids recorded. You'll see there's a difference between me bitching about people not being able to do the very simple Enerva mechanic of standing next to the fucking orb, not on top of it. You stand on top of it, you fucking die. There's a difference between that attitude and it's like, oh yeah, no, just go again. Right? So I've got, and I was like that because I wasn't getting what I was looking for in a raid. And now I am. I've got my progression raid team. I'm going to have my shaman geared up. Week 1 of raiding, I should easily be 210 item level. If it is declared that 210 is not enough for normal Sanctum, I probably will just bring my monk. Right? I'll bring my monk main if I have to. Like, if my shaman isn't up to snuff with the gear, I'll bring my monk. Why would I bring my monk? Because I know my monk can do it. I raid Wednesdays and Mondays, kind of like with a 2-hour gap almost between the time that I would raid with Banana Republic. So what that means is Wednesday, I will be knocking out like however many bosses we kill, and then go into Banana Republic, and then it's like, oh hey, my character is lower DPS than Asti, so I should just swap to my monk. That's how I think it should be, because I mean, Banana Republic was a progression group at one time. It isn't now, whether that's because people are leaving or because of 1,000 different reasons, I don't know. But if my progression was just reliant on a group where it's like, hey, let's create a completely different strat for this boss that we've killed 20 different times, I'd be upset. Right? Same people fucking up the same mechanics every week. That's affecting me. I'd be upset. I'd have every right to be upset, actually. But I'm not. I'm going to come in on my shaman. I'm going to have the correct legendary power ready, which is just amazing, by the way. I'm going to have my gear as geared up as I can be. I'm probably going to have my legendary because the whole thing where you can now send Soul Ash to alts, but I have to farm up 5,000 Soul Ash for my Windwalker legendary because the Sanctum of Domination gear replaces your legendary thing. And I hope, for the love of God, that people decide that the Domination gear isn't worth it. Because the Domination gear is worth it. The Domination gear could be pretty powerful. I'm thinking the Unholy 3 set is actually better for me. But, you know, it is what it is. Personally, what I'm probably going to try to do is get my shaman around equal with my monk. It's going to be tough because Banana Republic does not do Mythic Plus Knights, and my other raid team does. And that's going to be my focus. I'm gonna keep my monk up. But with that in mind, Mythic Plus isn't really needed to do normal and heroic. Do I think that Banana Republic will get AOTC next year? Absolutely. There's a reason why I think that, and that is because the first tier is always weird. Right, the first tier is always weird. Either it is tuned, like, low enough for anybody to be able to get it, or it's tuned really hard. And in terms of Castle Nathria, it is tuned in the way where my Mythic Raid team was having issues and took about 2 hours to kill Heroic Denathrius tonight. That's first time in a while. But I think a lot of people were on their ults. So I've been looking at the new Sanctum of Domination bosses. Banana can do this. The bananas can do this. We just need to... I mean, I'd suggest the Banana Raid team to people. I would happily, like, be like, hey, you know, come join. Problem is, I don't really know many people on WoW. But I think that we can do this. The Banana Raid team should be able to get AOTC relatively easily. I am going to get Keystone Master Season 2, definitely. I don't know, man. Like, I've been talking to one of my buddies outside of gaming. Like, oh, are you sure you want to do this? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, I have to. Like, it's easier to change teams than change the mindset of a team. And he's like, oh, well, isn't that a progression rate team? It's not. It's not. I mean, goals of progression, but I'm going to be extremely honest here. In a raid team where you have people doing like 2.5k DPS constantly on a single target fight with like no downtime, it's not gonna. No, it's not progression. So I'm gonna scratch that progression itch in my new raid team, and I'm gonna keep my shaman with bananas. And there's like 1,000 different reasons why I love playing a shaman. Shaman's really fucking powerful, by the way. But it's I'm ready, man. 9.1 is going to be a lot of setup on week 1. It's a lot of setup, and people need to do that setup. Right? And that's the thing. If you are a progression-minded player, you got your legendary before you went into heroic. Or at least you had it over 190. If you are a progression-minded player, you do Mythic Plus. You have a score above 20. If you're a progression-minded player, you don't try to reinvent the wheel every time. And I know that posting this is probably gonna not end well for me, but I don't know, man. I'm ready again. I've talked to some people who have stopped raiding altogether, like from other teams and all that. And they're like, yeah, you know, when 9.1 hits, we're coming back. It's like, yeah, buddy. And when 9.1 hits, doing Torghast, doing Korthia, farming up Korthia, making sure that I score well enough on Torghast to get a few socket items, get the domination gear from the Sanctum, make sure I get the right gems, upgrade those gems, save back the Soul Cinders for upgrading my legendary for Heroic Week. Why would I save it for Heroic Week? The answer being very simple. Because item level. Right? And that's going to be the big thing, right? Where does everybody have their legendaries with that boosted item level? Where does everyone have the Mythic Plus gear with the boosted item level? People are like, oh, the new Mythic Plus rating. You know what the new Mythic Plus rating's going to do? It's going to stop the fucking people who buy their carries from progressing that far. And even that, I'm not too sure about. Because the new affix is just so fun. It's like 9.1 is taking forever to get here. I'm bored out of my mind. I'm doing Twisted Corridors right now. You know what's not boring? You know what's really fun? the idea of 9.1. I haven't done any of the 9.1 testing. I've seen some of the boss fights. Guess what? Can't wait for Terra Gru, because the DPS logs on that are going to be 100% RNG. Also, can't wait for Fate Scribe, because that's going to be a really fun fight. But, I'm ready, man. I am so ready. I am like right up there, man. Right up there. And I can't wait to see what everyone does. I want the bananas to be like, hey, let's do... What are you eating? I want the bananas to be like, let's do Tazavesh! And stuff like that, right? I want to see this raid die! Because the gear that it drops, you will have catch-up gear that allows you to gear up. Like, if you just play regularly, you will be okay, you will be set, and I will be happy. I'll see you guys in 9.1.